lists. Some things you can do to make sure you're off of those lists are doing a simple Google or MSN or Yahoo search on looking at internet blacklist or email blacklist. You can usually just put your email address in, the last part of your email address, or you can even have a lot of them just automatically look at your IP address. They'll actually scan all the blacklists for you and see if you're on any of them. If you do happen to get on one of these blacklists and your emails being sent to someone else are blocked, you can actually also look at the code in that undeliverable email that you get. Down near the bottom, most people don't really realize 9 times out of 10, those undeliverable emails actually tell you how you can get removed from those lists. They tell you also why they're being blocked. So it's good to pay attention to those undeliverable emails that you get. Again, they usually show you why you're blocked. And that info, if it's hard to decipher, because sometimes it really can be, hang on to those at least, and your IT guys can help you out. Use those to quickly remedy the situation. RDNS and SPF. RDNS is reverse DNS. And these two things are kind of like reverse or backwards checks to make sure that the people sending the email are who they really are. And these are a couple things that you'll want to get with your internet service provider or your IT people and make sure that they're in place. I say your internet service provider because these are two things that aren't set up on your system. They're usually set up on your internet service provider system, so the rest of the internet properly knows that you are who you're saying you are, or who your email server says you are. So again, with reverse DNS and SPF, SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework, these are a couple things you want to check with your internet service provider or have your IT guys check with them and make sure those are set up. Those are very important nowadays. Header and format filtering. These are a couple pretty broad topics. Different rules that can be in these are definitely ones that, again, are going to change as far as what your agency deals with. And they can range from the number of numbers that can be in an email address. Now, you might have a lot of newsletters from, say, Auto Owners Insurance Company that I know for a fact a lot of their things, like newsletters and bulletins, memos, they actually have 5 or 6 different numbers in the email address. Well, you're going to want to have an appropriate email header format filter that's going to allow those through. Same goes for different languages. If you deal with people in different countries, this is where you'll take care of that. If you're going to have emails that only have pictures in them, that's a new way that spammers are trying to get things through, is by just having a picture in an email. Now, obviously, the picture is going to have a lot of words, but the keyword filtering and the artificial intelligence filtering don't know how to read a picture because it's not actually text. So those kind of things are again, in these header and format filters. Very important to go through with these, because these are things that do change, and there are new ones out there every month based on these different rules. And I mentioned artificial intelligence. This is the backbone of most filters nowadays. And the reason why you don't spend a lot of time dealing with keyword filtering and blacklist filtering that take up a lot of your time. These filters learn on their own based on the email that you send and based on email that you categorize as being spam or not spam. Most filters nowadays have the intelligence built in to, also pick up automatically past emails. That way it doesn't take a long time to get up and running effectively. So let's get into how to manage the spam. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize that you can actually manage spam, a little bit effectively, at least with Microsoft Outlook. It can be used as, a good extra line of defense. Definitely not something you're going to want as your primary filter. And you can do that with a couple different things. One is the reading pane, or what used to be called the preview pane. You want to make sure that's turned off. Now, this is a topic of debate by a lot of people, because Microsoft, releases from time to time different updates and security features in Outlook to make it so if a bad email gets opened up in a preview pane, whatever's in that email, spyware, a virus, isn't going to be automatically executed. Because if you have your preview or reading pane open, just having that email highlighted and then having it open in the right pane or the bottom pane, wherever it may be, it's actually opening that email. And if it's a bad email, you're opening up a bad email. Some of them have stuff embedded, so it actually automatically launches its virus or spyware. The fact that Microsoft pretty often releases security updates for Outlook, just for things like this, makes us think that, well, these spyware and spam people, they're pretty creative, and they're probably getting around Microsoft security technology all the time. That's why Microsoft's constantly releasing updates for them to make it more secure. Based on those things, we feel it's safest to turn your reading pane and preview pane off. Outlook actually has a junk mail filter built in too. Now, this is another one of those things that every month when Microsoft releases their updates on the second Tuesday of the month, there are updates for Outlook's junk mail filter. That is because it's more based on just like a little database that Microsoft makes on how to identify spam. It's not the most effective filter. It's also a little more difficult to program because really all you have is whitelist and blacklist options. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Outlook and quickly show everybody how to look at these two pieces. So you can see we're looking at Outlook here, and we're running Outlook 2007. You'll notice that I've got an email highlighted here that says it's from Smart Alerts. And on the right-hand side, we can see this email in my preview pane or my reading pane. Again, I mentioned we want to make sure this is shut off because anything embedded here could potentially run if Outlook security doesn't know how to handle it. So what you need to do is just simply go up to View, find Reading Pane, or again, in older versions of Outlook, it's going to be called Preview Pane, and we're going to turn that off. Now, yes, it does take an extra half a second to open up that email by double-clicking it now than it does to read it. We do know that, and I did talk earlier about the 5 seconds you can waste by going through spam emails on average. But this is one of those small cost savers. It's just going to keep your computers individually and across the whole network potentially, more clean, running efficiently. So we are going to want to take that 1 second it does take to open up that email by ourselves with double click. And now to Outlook's actual junk mail filter. With most recent versions of Outlook, you're going to find that under Actions and then Junk Email. When you're looking at specific emails or have them selected, you'll notice you have 4 options and you can tell it what to do with that email that you've actually got highlighted. To go into the options, we simply click on Junk Email Options, and you can see there are several different levels of filtering. Now again, what this is going to do, this isn't going to block spam from coming in. Spam's always going to come to your mailbox if it's getting through to your server. But Outlook's filter is just going to, move those things to your junk mail folder for you. You can also tell it to permanently delete if you'd like. So you've got the option for low, high, and then safe list. Those different options are pretty